For sale by owners are one of the most underutilized lead sources in real estate, and most agents either ignore them completely or they call them with a pushy pitch trying to rip the listing away from them on the first call. Both approaches are wrong. Today, I want to show you a completely different way to approach for sale by owners. One that uses something I already love doing, open houses. To build a genuine relationship with the FSBO seller without ever asking for their listing until they're ready to give it to you. This approach is a win for the seller, and it's a win for you. And I'm going to give you the exact word for word scripts to make this conversation happen naturally and confidently. Let me start with some numbers that explain exactly why opportunity is worth pursuing. 92% of for sale by owners do not succeed at selling their home on their own. And the 8% who do, on average, sell their home for 16% less than a realtor listed properly. That means the overwhelmingly majority of for sale by owner sellers are eventually going to need an agent. The question is, will they call you or will they call whoever happened to be top of mind? This system is how you make sure it is you. My name is Scott Coomer. I'm a real estate team leader based in Arizona. Let's get into it. Before I get into the scripts, I want to talk about the mindset you need to bring into every FSBO conversation because the mindset is actually more important than the script. Here's the reality about for sale by owners. They are not listing with an agent and they have a reason for that. Almost always. The reason is they want to save the commission and put more money in their pocket. That is a completely valid goal, and I respect it. And here's the key insight that changes how you approach every for sale by owner conversation. Most for sale by owners sellers need time for what I call self-discovery. They need to experience the process of trying to sell on their own. The showings, the negotiations, the legal paperwork, the uncertainty, before they come to a realization that they have a professional in their corner would actually serve their goal of putting more money in their pocket, not hurt it. Your job on the first call is not to convince them of that. Your job on the first call is to start a relationship, to become a resource, to plant a seed. Because the agents who win for sale by owner listings are almost never the ones who push the hardest on call one. They're the ones who showed up consistently, added value genuinely, and were the obvious choice when the seller was finally ready. Keep that in mind as we go through the scripts. You're not trying to close a listing today. You're trying to open a relationship that leads to a listing on their timeline. And the open house approach I'm about to show you is one of the best ways to do exactly that. Here's why I love the open house approach, specifically for sale by owner sellers. Think about what a for sale by owner seller wants. They want their home sold. They want maximum exposure to buyers. They want top dollar. And they want to accomplish all that without paying a realtor commission. Now think about what an open house offers. Maximum exposure to buyers, professional marketing, signs everywhere, Facebook promotion, foot traffic through the door. All things the for sale by owner seller wants and almost certainly cannot do at the level a professional agent can. When you call a for sale by owner seller and offer to host a mega open house event at their property for free without asking for the listing, you're not asking them for anything. You're offering them something they genuinely want. That changes the entire dynamic of the conversation. Instead of being another agent begging for their listing, you're a professional offering to help them accomplish their goals. And here's the win for you. When you host that open house, you get in front of buyers, real motivated buyers who are actively looking for a home. Research shows that approximately 80% of open house visitors are not represented by an agent. That means you have a room full of potential buyer clients while simultaneously building a relationship with the seller who will very likely need to you in the near future. Win for the seller, win for you. That is the foundation of the open house FSBO approach. Now let me give you the exact script to use when you call. When you call for sale by owner seller, the very first thing you need to do is disarm them. They have been getting calls from agents all week. Every agent is pitching them, pressuring them, asking for their listing. You're going to be completely different from the moment they pick up. Here's how the call opens. Hi, so-and-so. This is Scott Coomer with the Kumler Group at eXp Realty. Just so you know right off the bat, this is not a sales call. I know you are getting bombarded by agents begging you for your listing, and I am not going to do that. At no point in this call, I'm going to ask for your listing or ask you to pay me a commission. Let them absorb that for a second because that is the exact opposite of what they expected to hear. Then you continue. I completely understand why you're selling on your own. When I think about paying a commission myself, I get it. You want to put as much money in your pocket as possible. That makes total sense. Now, you introduce the offer. What I've put together is a program that I believe is a huge win for sale by owners. And I want to share with you because I think it could help you sell your home for top dollar without paying me a penny. Here is what I want to do. I host what I call a mega open house event, and I do it at my own expense, not yours. I start marketing the event about 10 days out. I run Facebook ads targeting buyers in your area. I put out a ton of signs and banners so your home is impossible to miss. I promote it online across multiple platforms, and I do everything I can to get as many qualified buyers through the door as possible. Now, I cannot guarantee your home will sell, but what I can guarantee is that you will get significantly more exposure to more potential buyers than you would on your own. And here's the part that makes this a true win for you. If I find a buyer who wants to buy your home, I give you that buyer. Their contact information is yours. You write the offer, you keep every penny, you owe me absolutely nothing. Then you explain the win for you, because transparency builds trust. Here's why this is also a win for me. At my open houses, roughly 80% of visitors are buyers who are not represented by an agent. Those are buyers I can help find a home, whether it is your home or another one. So I get access to motivated buyers while you get a professional open house event at zero cost to you. That is why this is such a genuine win-win. And now you ask for the next step, and this is critical. You are not asking for the listing. You're asking to come see the home. What I would love to do is set up a time for me to come by and take a quick tour of your home. I can share any suggestions to help it show at its best, and we can pick a date of the event, and we can start putting the marketing plan together. There is absolutely no pressure and no obligation. The sole purpose of the visit is to meet you, see the home, and get the event ready. I have tomorrow at blank time or black time available. Which one works better for you? Notice what just happened. You never asked for the listing. You never mentioned commission. You never pressured them. You offered them something they genuinely want. Maximum exposure to buyers for free. And you asked for a small next step, a tour of the home. Not a listing agreement. That is how you get a yes from a FSBO seller. Now, not every FSBO seller is going to say yes on the first call, and that is completely okay. Remember, this is a relationship, not a transaction. If they say they are not interested, here's how I want you to handle it. No worries at all. I completely respect that. Can I just ask you one quick question? What is the main reason you decided to sell without a realtor? They will almost always say to save the commission and keep more money. Yeah, that makes total sense. Your goal is to sell a home and put the most money possible in your pocket. I completely respect that. Let me ask you this. If I could show you, not just tell you, but actually show you how listings with me could actually net you more money in your pocket after commissions than selling on your own, would you be willing to just take 20 minutes to hear how I would do that? If they're still hesitant, reassure them with no pressure approach. I completely understand. You probably do not want to deal with a pushy agent. That is not who I am. I have a strict no pressure policy. The only purpose of meeting would be to show you my marketing plan and let you decide for yourself. If you hear it and you still want to continue on your own, that is completely okay. You will not be pressured. There is zero obligation. And even if you decide not to list with me, I'm going to leave you with some resources that will help you be more successful selling on your own. A home prep guide, a guest registry for tracking visitor information, and a blank purchase contract so you're ready when a buyer comes. I have tomorrow at blank time and black time, which works best for you. You're always positioning yourself as a resource, not as someone who needs something from them, but as someone who genuinely wants to help them accomplish their goals. That positioning is what separates the agents who eventually get FSBO listings from the ones who never do. If a FSBO seller pushes back and asks, how can you guarantee you'll get me more money? Here's how you answer that confidently and honestly. Great question. And I want to give you a real answer and not a sales pitch. Here's what the data shows. Approximately 87% of home buyers are represented by a realtor. Those buyers work with agents who show their home listed on the MLS because that is where agents get paid. When you sell on your own, you are essentially invisible to the entire pool of buyers. Only about 8% of all home sales in the country come from the sale by owners, which means roughly 92% of active buyers are being shown MLS listings, not yours. And here's a number I think really puts this in perspective. The average realtor listed property sells for 16% more than the average for sale by owner. So even after paying a commission, most sellers who list with a realtor net more money in their pocket than they would have kept selling on their own. That is not a guarantee I can make you personally. Every home and every situation is different. But those are the industry numbers, and they tell a pretty clear story about what maximum market exposure does for your final sale price. Then you bring it back to the open house offer. And that's exactly why the open house event I'm offering you is such a powerful first step. Even if you're not ready to list, let me get buyers through the door. Let me show what you professional marketing looks like, and let us see what the market says about your home. That approach, leading with data, being honest about what you can and cannot guarantee, and tying it back to the open house offer is how you handle a tough question without losing the relationship. I want to spend a moment on what might be the most important part of the entire FSBO strategy, and that is the follow-up. Because here's the truth about for sale by owners. The agents who win FSBO listings are not always the first one to call. They're the ones who call consistently over weeks and sometimes months until the seller is ready. Remember, 92% of for sale by owners eventually need an agent. The question is, just when. Some sellers will be ready in 2 weeks. Some will take 3 months. And every time you follow up, every time you check in, offer a resource, or share a market update about their neighborhood, you're making a deposit into a trust account so that when they are ready, you are the agent they think of first. Here's a simple follow-up approach that works well. Week 1, make the initial open house call. Week 2, follow up to check in how the showings are going. Offer to help. Week 3, share a relevant market update for their neighborhood. Week 4 and beyond, keep showing up, keep being a resource, keep the door open. The script for a follow-up call is simple. Hey, so-and-so, Scott Coomer here. Just wanted to check in and see how things are going with the home. Have you had much activity? I'm so happy to put together that open house event whenever you are ready. No pressure at all. Just want to stay in touch and let you know the offer still stands. Short, friendly, no pressure, consistent. That is the follow-up system that eventually converts FSBOs into listings. Not one aggressive call, consistent, genuine follow-up over time. Here's a complete FSBO to open house strategy. The mindset. You're building a relationship, not closing a listing. Most FSBOs need time for self-discovery. Your job is to be the obvious choice when they are ready. The approach. Offer value first, ask for nothing. The mega open house offer gives the FSBOs seller exactly what they want. Maximum buyer exposure at zero cost to them, and gives you access to a room full of unrepresented buyers. The script. Disarm, offer, explain the win-win, ask for the visit. Never ask for a listing on call one. Ask for a tour. Get in the door, build a relationship in person. Handle objections with data, not pressure. The 92% failure rate and the 16% price gap are powerful, honest numbers that make your case without you having to push. Follow up consistently. The agents who win FSBO listings are the one who will show up week after week as a resource, not a salesperson, until the seller is ready. FSBOs are not a quick win, but for the agents who approach them right with patience, consistency, and genuine value, they are the ones with the most reliable listing sources available. And the open house approach is the single best way I know to get your foot in the door. If you're a real estate agent who wants to build a stronger listing pipeline and you want to talk through the open house approach could work in your specific market, I would love to have that conversation with you. I do one-on-one Zoom calls with agents who want a real practical strategies for generating listings without spending a fortune on ads. No pitch, no pressure, just an honest conversation about building a listing business actually looks like. Link to book directly on my calendar is in the description below. Takes about 30 seconds to book a time that works for you. And if this video gave you scripts that you can use this week, subscribe to this channel. I post content every week for real estate agents who want real strategies, not theory, that they can put into action right away. I'm Scott Kumler. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.